Sailing out from Scots College now, passionate about sailing, we are lucky he's here tonight from the windy weather conditions. Colin is an American citizen who moved to Australia 6 years ago and loves to talk. Colin is a curious student who has a particular interest in public policy and decision making. Watch out, world.
Sabrina Kwok has a very interesting question for Colin.
This is a question for Colin. Having studied in the United States, I myself have studied in Hong Kong. How do you see the difference of education there, and how do you believe we can improve the overall quality of education in Australia to improve our development and ensure sustained prosperity?
All right, thank you for your question. Excuse me. Well, firstly, I think we need to remove the misconception that the US somehow has better education systems than here. Currently, on the Global Index for Cognitive Skills and Educational Attainment, Australia is ranked 13th in the world and the US is ranked 17th. So there's absolutely no evidence to suggest that Australia has somehow worse education systems than the United States does. That being said, in my view, education is the most important thing in this world. It provides opportunities, it provides progress, which most people define to be intrinsically good, and it also provides prosperity to the nation, as the question mentioned. However, in terms of improving the education system now, I think there are two key areas where this can be done. Firstly, in raising the bar. So the bar is sort of the minimum standard for educational attainment for high school. And if this is raised, this forces students to work harder and earn a higher level of education, and thus have more opportunities to provide more progress to the Australian economy. Secondly, compulsory sport is a little bit of a concerning issue for me. While I think compulsory sport can be viable, and is viable currently, I think there should be some sort of minimum level of attainment before students are allowed to go out and play sport. For instance, you might have to achieve a 60% average for the year. That may or may not be it. However, it will provide incentive for students to work harder, gain that high level of education, and as I stated before, lead to more economic prosperity and prosperity in general for the Australian country.
The next question is very, very broad. For people who have worked in the finance industry since 2008, every year you hope that the next year is going to get easier, and for 5 years we've had...
Lead up to the GFC, where the economy grew very quickly. It was all kind of a financial house of cards, basically. And anyway, I'll leave it there because I'm ranting.
I actually have a question to Paul. How do you respond to the statement by Fox News, and granted it's Fox News, so don't trust them at all. How do you respond to the statement, well, we can either fall off a 10-foot fiscal cliff now, and default on our debt now, or in, let's say, 20, 30, or even 50 years' time, fall off a 100-foot fiscal cliff when the debt has risen due to deficit spending to $100 trillion, for example. Okay, so I, like Christine, I am in agreement, we need to be different. But for this reason, the question implied a negative connotation for difference, but I actually think difference, like she said, is very good. And I guess, based on the fact that Australia is very highly educated, as I gave the fact, I think it's 13th in the world, I said earlier, perhaps we could invest in something like sustainable energy, sustainable and renewable energy for the future. We could be one of the first nations to do that. Obviously, the carbon crisis is pretty significant right now, and even though, as Adam mentioned earlier, the mining industry is still doing pretty well, there is going to be a time that it is going to run out, and we are going to need to find an alternative source of energy. So perhaps this is an area where we could get that.
No one.